You ever met somebody and, you really enjoying them in person and you ask them for their website and they get real quiet?
Yes. That happened recently. They're real quiet, or, they'd be like, sorry, it's not done yet. Or, I'm redoing it right now. You know what I'm saying? They don't they be like, don't judge me. You know what I'm saying? I tried my best, they got some story or something like that. But, the truth is, they're just embarrassed, right?
Mm.
They're just embarrassed about either the site, the way it looks.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably some long story behind it. What kind of stories have you heard?
I've heard, we're in the middle of getting it done. I asked like, how long has it been? And they like, a couple years.
I've been getting it done for the last 5 years, 4 years. But sometimes, oftentimes, unfortunately, it's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
I hear about freelancers or, agencies they've worked with, or just, people who been doing them wrong. They do the site, but it doesn't look the way they want it to, and they're trying to edit it. They don't have access to it, so they can't make the changes. It's taken them months, years to get the site done. They're just sitting there waiting.
They can't find the right person to execute on their vision,
Yeah.
so they just don't even get it done.
They don't get it done, or they'll do something that they think is just passable, but then they really know it's not, especially as things evolve and starts to look kind of dated. And they know that, and they're just embarrassed. And so,
it's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate, but you know what? I think we can help them out.
I think so too. I'm excited about this one.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
All right.
This is the brand. This is the voice. This is the pain. They move by choice. Charles and John say we don't chase trends. Brand currency, where purpose begins.
Welcome to the Brand Currency Podcast, where we talk about branding and design in a way that actually makes sense for your business. My name is Charles McGill. I'm your host, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host.
Hi, I'm John C. McGill, his wife and partner in business.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the websites today. Okay, we're going to talk about how, folks just be honestly just ashamed of it, right? They be embarrassed. They're in a shame spiral, if you will, of, perpetually having to avoid the conversation of their website. Sometimes folks are just like, hey, just go to my Instagram, just go to my just go to my Facebook. Thank God for Linktree.
Oh my goodness. The Linktree
doesn't help
a whole lot of information that's scattered everywhere.
And that's the thing. We could talk to that too. How Linktree for a lot of people doesn't necessarily replace your website. It's maybe a Band-Aid, but it's not going to replace what the website should do. But your website essentially is your digital front door, right? It's your digital front door. It is what people, first get to see. Think about a storefront. Think about a physical storefront. They're walking into, or your house, or wherever your business is, right? They're walking into it physically, and what do they see? That's how they should look at it.
Exactly. And it's, I don't think people really understand the weight of having a website. Some people do. And there's some people who are nowadays like, oh, I can get by with social media. But at some point, if you want to level up and really expand your brand or your message or your mission, a website is very necessary.
Very necessary. And because that's the thing, your brand actually doesn't feel complete without it, right? You feel disconnected between, who you are and also how you may be represented online, right? And that's disconnect is something we gotta close the gap. Because it doesn't make sense for you to be in person, be this awesome person, doing awesome in business, and then you ask for, people ask for your digital representation, your website or whatever, and it looks like it doesn't represent you. It causes some weird tension. That's why people get embarrassed. They don't want to show you because they know it's going to cause some weird kind of some tension. It's kind of like in person, you know, if you're not let's say you might got some new clothes and you got a fresh cut and you looking nice, and people are like, yo man, this is so cool, let's go hang out. You like, oh, where you want to go? Oh, let's go eat somewhere. Okay, let's go. And they like, yo, let's take your car. And you know your car.
Especially mine, because sometimes, thank you for getting the detail, by the way, recently. But
yes,
you know, otherwise it would have like little chocolate and
a
French
whole bunch of
fries
stuff.
and fingerprints.
Starbucks.
This is a hot mess.
Everywhere. It would be water bottles, Starbucks, napkins, all types of stuff. Snack wrappers.
Under the seat. Like.
Yes. Behind. Yes. That's how it looks. So they like, let's take your car. You like, oh, give me a moment. Let me stand around the corner
Why don't we
real
just
quick.
Uber there?
Yeah. Because I don't want you to see my car. You know, and that's exactly what it is, you know, or you can make that analogy about your home. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people are like, oh, well, hold on now. Like we ain't got to go to my house. You know? But sometimes like it's a necessary thing, you know, and you think about how awkward that would be in an interaction if we couldn't take your car. You know, think about that moment of pause that person may have because they're like, really? Why can't we take your car? You know, because maybe their car is fine. They're like, well, you know, you take my car, it's fine. So they're judging you, right? Or if you're like, you know what, let's just go take my car. So then they go up to the car and they get a chance to see all that stuff in it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then it's like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't, you know, now they
maybe
feel
we
awkward.
shouldn't move forward with this.
Exactly. Because and people are people, right? And so you never know. Someone may judge you based on that. Someone may be like, well, if they don't take care of their car, or they don't take care of their house, you can make it about anything. They don't take care of their storefront, right? Their digital storefront, their in person. If they don't take care of this, how can they, you know, be effective in terms of working with me? Like, how is this going to work?
Yeah, I know. It's like, it reminds me of actually a couple of weeks ago, I was at a conference, and it was a conference for speakers and entrepreneurs. And as I was leaving, I was just about to leave. It started raining and I stopped, you know, because I had to put my hair up, and luckily I had my cap on so I could just kind of tuck it under the cap. But as I was getting my stuff ready to leave, this gentleman stopped me, just casual conversation. What do you do? And so I told him we have a branding and design agency, and he was like, oh man, I really could use your help. And he was telling me about all the impact that he's having in his community, how he's changing lives, and he's really like helping youth and going into, you know, these detention centers for kids. And he's really changing lives and being there for people in the community when trauma happens in the community, and, you know, supporting everyone. And then he was like, you know, I really need help with my website because I'm so embarrassed by it. I don't even have it live right now.
Wow.
I know. And he was like, look, he pulled out his entire laptop so he could show me his website and how, you know, he's like, this really just doesn't represent me. And it just, I feel so awful about it. I don't even want it out there, you know, for people to see, because that's not how I am. That's not a real reflection of me.
Wow.
So...
And you think about
that hurt my heart.
Yeah. So what do you think are some of the reasons why they don't get their website fixed? Like what are some of the hangups?
Well, some of the hangups are, you know, just not finding the right person that really understands their brand, understands their vision, and, you know, can tell that visual story of the impact they have. You know, or a lot of people, they're just like, I can't even deal with this right now. I have too much going on. Like, I have too much on my plate. I'm here, there, I'm speaking, I'm doing all these things, and I don't have time.
Yep. I think also too, there's just like that tension of a price and quality. You know, so sometimes they will have
definitely price.
They'll have an idea of what they want, and then they go seek out like say they see something they want. They're like, that looks amazing. They find out the agency or the person that did it, and then they go and seek them out, and then they ask, you know, how much does it cost me to get something like that? And it's like $30,000 or $50,000 or $80,000, because we've heard all those prices, right? And they're like, whoa, like, man, I gotta can't swing that, right? And then there's also just that weird tension of like websites, because they range for so much. Like you can go to Fiverr and they'll be like, oh, $300, $250, I'll do it for you, right? So you got like something like that inexpensive, and you got something like,
and it also makes like the industry like, they don't know who to trust with that, because you have all these different price ranges. And it gets like
confusing.
It can be confusing, but it can also be a hindrance.
Yeah, for you to move forward, because you don't know. And then the thing is, and this is the thing we know. And this is not I'm going to say this. It's not necessarily like a guarantee, but this is just a general rule of thumb for business. You get what you pay for. And typically, it doesn't matter what it is. Typically, if you go the cheap route, you get the cheap experience. And that can show up in different ways. So that can be, the design is cheap. The process in terms of your experience wasn't that good. A lot of things can happen. And if you're okay with that, and people are like, hey, it's okay. It worked out for me. I think it looks great. Okay, fine. What you think looks great may or may not look great. You may not be the best judge, right? I'm going to say, because sometimes
most people aren't designers.
So some people be like, oh, I got this, $500. It was done in a day, 2 days, and I'm rocking and rolling. It's good to go. And the next question is, okay, well, how is it performing, right? Is it bringing you the attention that you want? Is it converting people? Is it doing those things, right? Because if it's not, but you think it looks good, then does it really look good? Maybe not. Maybe you're the only one who thinks it looks good, right?
There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that.
There's a whole lot of that.
And then, sometimes, they're not sure who to trust and what actually is the right look and feel. Because we've seen things like that too, where people are like, oh, I think it looks fine. And like, why do you want to change it? Because they're talking to us, so like, if you think it looks fine, why are you inquiring about us doing it differently? Well, because, it's not really moving. People don't really pay on it. I want someone to, oh, okay, so that's different, right? So now we acknowledge that, although you may think it looks good, it's not working for you. And so, you need something that works for you. Our suggestion is to get something that looks good and works for you.
That sounds like that's the way it should be.
Right? And here's the thing too, that people gotta understand about websites. It's not your goal is not to try to hit a home run, because that is very unlikely.
Right.
As in, the first time you design the site and the first iteration of the site is not going to be the permanent look of the site. The reason why clients work with us and get our subscription service and continue to work with us, because we can iterate the site. As in, we put it out there, see how it goes, and then we start tweaking things. We tweak the messaging, we tweak where things are showing up. We tweak the images, we tweak the graphics, whatever that is. We keep making these changes until the site hits. We did the same thing with our site.
I know. I was just thinking that, all the tweaks that we had to do on our new website, from because there were so many moments. I was like, Charles, we need to say something different right here, or oh, we need to have this person's image and all the things that we did for them, because that was like a really amazing impact that we had on their business. Exactly. So let's have them right here and the whole spread. And, but, it's the whole experience of the website you have to think through. But you're absolutely right. There's iterations.
Absolutely.
You can't just put it out there and then set it for 20 years. That's so unrealistic.
And overall, the point we're trying to make here is that if people know when their website doesn't match their value. And that by itself becomes a confidence killer, right? They start to project that gap, right? And so what we want to do is figure out, or really just kind of share with them why this matters, because it's your digital storefront, and we know we're in the business, so we're like, it definitely matters, right? And I think anybody who, whatever industry you're in, if you're talking to a therapist, they're like, therapy matters. If you're talking to anyone, they're going to be like, this matters, right?
Right.
And so, but since we are in this business, we're going to tell people why it matters, because sometimes they don't know because they're not in the space. So they think that it's not a big deal. Like someone who isn't a therapist, but still needs help, may think therapy isn't a big deal because, they didn't grow up that way. You talk to a therapist, they're going to be like, I can't believe you think that. It's absolutely a big deal, right? So we about to give you that absolutely part. All right. So one of the things, can you think of some of the things that, folks may be missing out on if their website, is not where it needs to be?
Oh, yes. Well, first of all, they're missing out on clients. If people go to your website and, just something just doesn't feel right, or it feels off, or it isn't clear what you do, what you offer, that can turn a lot of people off. Another thing is maybe potential investors. If you're trying to pitch yourself and you're trying to, get people to help you grow your business or your cause or whatever it is, how you represent yourself online definitely matters when you're trying to trying to go after that money. Can you think of any other ways?
Yeah, I mean, just opportunities in general, and I call it the silent sales killer, because when people go to your website and they're not attracted to what they're seeing or they're turned off, they often don't tell you. It's not like they're going to send you a message.
They're never going to tell you.
They're not going to be like, hey, I was interested in what, you had going on. I was thinking about it, but then I saw your site and then I, kind of looked kind of sketchy. So I was like, nah, just want to give you that feedback. That never happens. And so you just miss out on stuff. People just come and look and then they just click off and you just keep missing out on opportunities. You don't understand why. You literally do not understand why. And that happens so often. And, that's the part that I think there comes a time where people start to realize that. We had recently a discovery call with some new clients that actually spoke to that. Like they actually realized that they were missing out because someone had shared with them that they had, I think it was I don't want to give too much detail on the situation. Let's just say that there was a client that they were trying to court, a client of, means, right? And their client was interested in working with them and let them know that in person. And they got their website and because they handed them a card, and then they later, said, I'm gonna check it out and we go, but they were very positive. Everything looked, like it was gonna work, right? And then soon after they messaged to follow up, hey, did you get a chance to, look at everything? Yeah, I did. The person responded and, just give me some more time to think about it, and then ghosted them. Just nothing.
Because people will say, when you give them your card in person or whatever, they'll say, let me check out your website.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to you.
Yeah. And then they go binge. That's usually what they do. They'll go like look you up. They'll go look at your social media. They'll go all the stuff, right? And if things check out, then likely they're going to move forward, right? They're going to be like, yes. But if things don't check out, they don't always give you that feedback. They just ghost you, right? And how did the person know that the person ghosted them? Because that same person ended up working with another company similar to hers, doing the same thing, but no feedback. And what did that person notice? That person looked just more polished. The other company looked more polished online. Like just, it looked like, you know what I mean? And so it just matched I'm sure for that potential client, she's probably thinking through it. And she may or may not be right. We don't know. This is all just, kind of guessing at it. But you kind of get a sense of how people do it because she knew that it didn't match.
Right.
She's just like, man, my site really just kind of brought me down. Whereas this other site, like, it looked really good.
Yeah. And that can kind of chip away at, what you were saying earlier about confidence.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to, bring in those clients, you'll have that little scenario playing back in your mind. Like, oh, if my website, if my branding looked like that, I could have just gotten that, potentially.
For sure. And because first impressions are, now are digital. Oftentimes. Because, we're giving like real life, in-person examples. But oftentimes the examples are the first impression is not one in person. Like we've had several clients that have come to us because we were referred or just because they saw a social media post or maybe saw one of our ads because, we trying to do low level ads now, like, but, they might have saw one of the ads and then they'll click on it and they enjoy what they're seeing. They're like, this looks good. And so they want to move forward. But then you have other people who may have, similar things that, engaging content. They may, attract people and then they click on that landing page and that's as far as they go.
Be honest. Does your website actually reflect the level of work you do? Or do you quietly pray no one asks you for your link? If your online presence is making you look less professional than you are, it's time for a reset, and we've made it easy. Introducing the Divine Redesign Movement by Panda Commission. For just $100, we'll create a custom mock-up of a premium website or sales funnel. No commitment, no pressure. You'll get a stunning strategic preview of your new site, built by real designers, not cookie-cutter templates. In under a week, you'll know exactly what your brand could look like when it's working for you. If you love it, we build it. If not, you walk away. Simple. But fair warning, your next client is already judging your digital first impression. Don't let outdated design be the thing that costs you the sale. Spots are limited. Claim your $100 mock-up now at mydivineredesign.com. Panda Commission, premium design for your business at every stage.
So this is something that we need to, really kind of help folks with. And so, one of the things that we want to be able to share with them is how they can get this right. Right? What are some of the steps? What are some of the ways that they can, kind of fix their the website that they're ashamed of?
Because it's not as difficult as people think it is.
It really isn't.
It's not that difficult.
It really isn't. But you know what? And I'm glad you said that. But also, because they're not in the space, they think it's difficult. Like I'll tell you right now. Like I thank God for our videographer Zell making us look good right now. Shout out to him.
Shout out to 44 Media.
Because I don't know how to do this. Right. And I've messed with some lighting and stuff. I was like, man, I don't get it.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it. Right.
I don't want to edit no videos.
Man.
I don't even want to edit my little social media videos.
Yeah, but we try, but we want it to look away.
That's right.
Right. We want it to look away. We have expectations. We do believe, but we may not have the skill.
Expertise.
Yeah. And we know what we want, right? But and I know if I asked him, I can just imagine certain things that I'm struggling with. If I asked him, like, how do you do it? It's not hard for him. He'd be like, oh, this right here, this, that. And I'm like, what? Like, I ain't never heard, So that's the same way it is with websites oftentimes with us and graphics and design. People are like, well, how do you get it to look good? And we like, oh, it's just take all this clutter out, Like, it's too crowded. Yeah, we got to help them out. So we got to help the people out. And so let's talk about some of the things that they could do. If they can't afford necessarily like a full redesign, because obviously if they come and pay us, right? We shout out to our promotion, Divine Redesign, right?
Yes.
Right here, right? So we got the Divine Redesign. You obviously can. Why don't you tell them about it, baby? That's your lead in that promotion. Why don't you tell them about it?
So the Divine Redesign is something amazing we came up with. So for $100, we'll send you a custom, professionally designed mock-up of what your website could look like, so that people can get an idea of, how we can turn their vision into, the website that they really enjoy, that really represents them, that they can put out there in the world and make more money with.
It's dope. It's a dope offer because, most of the time for you to see the site, how it's supposed to look, you'd have to pay and be in contract with that agency or that designer, right? So you have to pay a deposit or some type or whatever. And we're just saying $100, right? And for us to design it. And the thing about it, we design it as if we're going to build it. So it's going to look amazing. And when you see the design and you approve it, we can actually make that happen. So you for $100, get to see the mock-up and decide before you invest any more money if you want to move forward or not. If you do want to move forward, it's just $1,750 and you can get the rest of the site done. Go to mydivineredesign.com and you can see it, and you'll be able to, take advantage of that. But if they can't afford to get a redesign, what are some of the things that they can do to just make it look better?
Well, first of all, they can clean up their homepage messaging, because sometimes people will have a whole lot of information. I want to tell people everything about me, everything that I do. And sometimes it's good to just give people a great idea of what you do as opposed to like every single bullet point, every single detail. So, just cleaning up your messaging can really help.
Yeah, because we want clarity, right?
Exactly.
That is going to help you way more than you putting everything out there in a word salad or whatever you want to say. You want to be able to be crystal clear about what people offer. That's one of the things that we help people with. They ask us to audit and they're like, why does my website not convert? The first thing I look at is if I look at it and if I can't tell what you do from the very first, above the fold, looking right at the site, like the first thing, I can't tell what's going on and what you're about. That's likely the same thing that's happening to everybody else.
Yeah. And I'm the type of person, most of the time, I'm not going to read every little thing on your website anyway. I'm just going to go, I'm going to skim some stuff. I'm going to look for the information that matters to me. And, whether or not it's cohesive and it looks good, but because not everybody is a reader.
Yeah.
I know you're a reader.
I'm a reader.
Because you like details and you want to look at every little thing and get as much information as possible. But I'm not like that. I don't have time for that. That's not my thing.
And that's a beautiful point because when we design at Panda, we design for both people.
Exactly.
So, and you know that. So we design for people like me who want to read. And so we understand that those kind of people, they initially do skim, but we always skim from top down, left, right. Right. That's natural, right? Like we're reading a paper. So top down, left, right. And so depending on how things are positioned and when words are, and also we attach importance based on words that are highlighted. So things that are larger are more important than things that are smaller. Things that are bold are typically more important. Things that are underlined, all those things. If you want to emphasize things, you can change the font from a print font to a script font. That little difference, that script font, that squiggly thing, that if it's legible, it's got to be like that.
I know, because sometimes
so
you
pretty.
Can't even
they make it
read
pretty,
what
but you can't read it, so it's not effective, right?
That's one of my pet peeves.
So you got to balance, make sure it's legible, right? And so all these things matter, right, to the eye, and as your brain is kind of getting the information in. And then there's some people that I know who are not going to care about none of that because they're not detailed like me. They're like you. They're just going to skim, like literally just skim, and you're going to be attracted to what's probably the biggest thing, right? And so we want to make sure that those big things are like things that if you only read that, you would get it. And that's the kind of thing when the people position stuff, they got to be like, okay, if they only read that middle part, they would still understand what's going on, and then include a video or include visual, like we call the visual story, include graphics and images that will convey emotion or communicate what it is.
Because I want to see how it makes me feel too.
Exactly.
Like, how do I feel about this company or this person?
Yeah.
So yeah, the visuals definitely.
And we think about that. So like I got my designers trained to where I say, hey, I look at the homepage, I don't feel anything. It's not, I don't feel a wow. I need to feel a wow. Now, here's the thing. I'm a caution whoever's listening, because if you send us that, that's not going to be helpful because that's a very generic thing to say. I'm saying
this is during the quality assurance process.
This is during this is probably the third or fourth revision, and this is me going back and forth, and this is me. I've trained them to understand what I mean by that, but you may have a different interpretation of what you mean when you say I need to feel a wow.
Right.
But the point is that we understand that there needs to be some type of emotional connection. And so we choose images, choose font, choose things so that there is that emotional connection. As you're scrolling, you're getting that, you're getting that emotion or that feeling, that joy, whatever you're trying to, we're trying to go for.
That feeling of authority.
Yes.
This person knows what they're talking about.
Exactly. Yes. So all that's intentionality. With that said, all of that can fall under the umbrella, to your point, of cleaning up your messaging.
Right.
Right. Another thing you could do, which is just a small little hack, is use consistent fonts, use consistent colors, right? You should have a brand guide for your website, for your brand, right?
Not every single color that you love.
Not every color you love, right? And you can't also, and this is, I can already hear some people, and you would, if you didn't have me, you'd probably do this. I could hear you doing this. People are like, I really love purple. And we go, okay, which hex code? And then they're like, I like deep purple. That doesn't tell. So we get the exact purple. And then you like the purple. And then we're like, okay, and you see the site, you're like, I like this purple, but can you make it a little bit lighter? Can you just give me some different types of purples? That's where we're like, time out. Because what it starts to do, like if you're not careful, you're going to end up, like you said, with all these different colors,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's going to be cluttered.
Yeah.
And even though that the individual person who owns the site may feel like this is nice and I'm connected to all of these colors.
I could feel overwhelmed when I go to the site.
That's right.
And because that is overwhelming for me sometimes. When I go to somebody's site and it's just like too busy or too much, I'm like,
Yeah. So
let me click off.
that's it. That's it. So what we would suggest is a brand guide. The brand guide will establish your primary colors, which usually are 1 or 2 colors, and then some accent colors or secondary colors, which are usually about 3 colors. So you usually have the most 5 colors.
Mm-hmm.
3 to 5 is recommended.
Mm-hmm.
As far as your fonts go, you want to have at least 2 fonts, maybe 3. What those fonts consist of will be a print font, and you can have a print font for your headline, and then another print font for your paragraph or subheadline, right? So the paragraph, the headline, subheadline, and paragraph should be just 2 fonts, sometimes 3, but we don't recommend that. The other font that you can have as a variation is your script font. That's the squiggly, this cursive, right? Which they don't do that no more unless you our age, right? But the cursive, that's your script font. So usually your brand guide should consist of your colors, which can be 3 to 5, and then your fonts, which can be 2 to 3. So that's a way we can help them out. What's another way we can help them clean up or kind of redesign their site if they can't afford a full redesign?
Just remove links that don't work. That's another one of my pet peeves. I go to somebody's website or whatever and I click on the link and it's like site unavailable.
Yeah. Exactly. 404 error.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing here?
Clean all that up.
Yeah, clean it up. We don't want to click on stuff that don't, you know.
Yeah. Because when somebody clicks and it's not there, it's like, what's this person doing?
Yeah.
You're not, making sure that you have all your ducks in a row.
Yes, that functionality matters. And I think about that in real life too. Just think about that. Let me take you one time to a restaurant. You're gonna get this right away. So let's go to a restaurant and we gonna order some oxtail. What they gonna say?
We don't have that.
We don't have that. We don't have that. Let me get some of that curry chicken.
Not today.
So all of that ends up impacting your experience, right? Because
Yes.
you like, man, come on,
I have my mouth ready.
my
for
mouth
some
was
oxtail.
ready. I saw the review. Y'all talking about your oxtail at the bomb. Let me get some of this oxtail. We ain't got it, man. We ran out. No, you don't run out.
The worst feeling ever.
Or you go to man, I don't know. I mean, I think about there's a whole bunch of spots, man. But if you go to a spot and you're expecting to get something, they're like, we don't got it. You like, what?
I came all the way here.
All the way here. Get it together, right?
Yes.
I think the worst. I remember we talked about this before too, because when we had our daycare. Do you remember we had our daycare and we were trying to celebrate? I think it was either not Memorial Day. It was one of those days where you're supposed to barbecue.
Okay.
And the kids were there.
Okay.
And we had talked about it. We were like, oh, let's go to the store and get some ribs. You remember this?
Vaguely.
Man, okay. So they ran out of ribs. That was the point. And remember, me and you had this whole discussion about y'all ran out of ribs. How long have y'all known that we were that this whole city?
I remember. Okay,
You
I remember that
Yeah.
because I went to Walmart.
Yep.
I think I went to I forgot,
Costco or whatever.
Costco, and nobody. We
Gone.
went all over, and they didn't have
Ribs gone. And some people are like, well, you shouldn't have waited so long to buy the ribs. It's like, well, y'all just shouldn't run out of ribs.
Make sure you have it available for
How
people.
about y'all get an extra
There's
load
a
of
whole
ribs?
lot of people who are last.
Yeah, because it wasn't us. It wasn't just us. We wasn't the only ones at the store like where the ribs at.
Yeah.
It was a whole bunch of people like and we all got to. I remember we got on Facebook and there was like people locally were like all complaining about the lack of ribs. What's up with the rib shortage? You know what I mean? And it wasn't like it was like newsworthy. It wasn't like, they were like, hey,
Yeah, it wasn't toilet paper.
yeah, it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Just letting y'all know, countrywide, we got a rib shortage. It wasn't that, you know, it was just like these local people decided not to order enough. And I'm like, how does this happen? But anyway, you know, going back to your website, when people go to your website, they're expecting things to work. They're expecting when you click on that link, they're like, hey, book a call or come buy this or whatever that thing is. When we click on it, we expect it to work. And if it don't work, you got to fix that because that affects their experience. Also, if you got any kind of, you know, old dated pictures, things that just bring down the site, things that just don't look good no more, you know, take them down, like, you know, replace them with something else. Also, I would just add as another tip that could help, you know, kind of give the site new life is social proof. Right?
That's so important. It's so important. I think about, you know, because this is another one of my pet peeves. It's so cringy that people are putting fake social proof on there.
Hold on now.
I know you don't want me to go down that rabbit hole.
Hold on now.
I've seen it several times. I said, I've seen this stock photo somewhere. And it's just like stock photos.
With the quote. And then it just say initials. It don't say
the full name. It just says for Maria. Maria J.
Maria J.
And it's like, that is just the cringiest thing ever.
Yeah, because we don't believe it.
No.
We don't.
That just, you're fugazi out here. But yeah, testimonials are so important because it gives your brand credibility.
Yeah.
You know, people want to see what was other people's experience working with this person, you know, before they, like, almost like Amazon reviews, right? Before I buy anything on Amazon, I am going to look at least 30 reviews before I buy something.
I know.
I'll be sitting there looking through.
I cannot stand it. Like, you don't hurry up and press purchase.
Because there's different people have different experiences with things. So, you know, testimonials are very important.
Yeah. And thankfully we have a lot of them, right? And if you don't have a lot of them or you don't have them yet, start to accumulate some. Even if you got one, just make it a good one. Definitely do video if you can.
Yes.
If you can't, make it a full quote, and make sure you include their picture, their name, so people can actually look them up. Because it helps your credibility.
For sure.
On our website, I think we have like 16 or 20 on our website right now. Most of them are videos. On our Instagram page, we have over 40 video testimonials.
Yeah, but if you don't have 40 or 16, you want at least 3.
At least 3.
At least.
And if you don't got 3, do 1.
Do something.
Do something. No, that's and make sure it's real. Yes. Don't let people tell you it don't matter. Put whatever you want. You can just use AI and just make something up. Because people can tell. They be like, this ain't a real. And like you said, you know, people be looking at the site and in their mind be like, scam likely. This
scam likely.
This is not feeling like this is authentic. You know, and so here's the truth. Like, if you could just get one page done really well, and I'm thinking about those people who have multiple pages, like they got like 10 pages, 8 pages of different offers and different stuff. If it all looks not like it represents you, you'd be better off just doing one page really well that has your offers, and focus on it converting. That one page, I'm sure, will convert better than your 10 pages of mess. Like that one good looking page,
one cohesive page,
is going to look better than 10 pages of hot mess.
Yes, most definitely.
So yeah, that's what we recommend. So yeah, you know, we just try to help people out.
If you're ashamed of your website, that's your brand waving a red flag. I need some help. So give it the help that it needs.
That's right. Your brand should build you up. Your brand should hype you up. Your brand should speak for you, even when you're not in the room, right? You want it to speak for you. You want it to do the heavy lifting. You know, if that's not true for you, if you're not excited to hand out your website, or when people tell you they've went and looked at your site, you're not excited because you know they're looking at something of quality and that represents you. If that's not how you feel right now, it's time to change that.
And you can change it by hitting us up at Panda Commission.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed this episode and you got some value from this, and you're someone who wants to change your website, you can hit us up at pandacommission.com, or you can go to the Divine. You go to mydivineredesign.com. Also, that's an option for you as well. If you enjoyed what you listened to, go ahead and like this episode, subscribe to our channel, share it with someone, maybe someone that you know needs to, change their website up. Let them listen to this episode. Maybe they can get some insight, get some tips. And you can follow us at anywhere on social media. Just type in Panda Commission. You'll find us. We're on TikTok now, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And we'd love for you to be a part of our Panda family.
What if your content looked as good as your offer? Introducing Panda Market, your new secret weapon for scroll-stopping content. We've got done-for-you Canva templates that are bold, beautiful, and built to convert. No more wrestling with design. Just drag, drop, post, and watch your brand glow up. New templates drop every month, so your content never gets stale. Get yours now at thepandamarket.com. Your feed will thank you.